Hey, what up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here. Tonight, I was able to watch the WWE Confidential, panel, is what it was called, about Degeneration X. Of course, these were filmed SummerSlam weekend. This is the activity that took the place of SummerSlam Access. Honestly, I was really bummed about not having access at SummerSlam this year. I still was able to get a Stone Cold Steve Austin ticket, and I was able to, of course, go to the show and meet Stone Cold Steve Austin. The one drawback was that I wasn't able to get an autograph. But at the end of the day, I really liked Stone Cold Steve Austin's show. I know that it was a lot of things that I had already known from watching his DVDs and especially watching his documentary that came out a few years ago, and then especially listening to his podcast week after week where he tells a lot of these stories word for word over and over and over again, sort of repeatedly. But honestly, in my mind, I had never been that close to Stone Cold Steve Austin before, and I thought it was a really cool treat in order to do this. I know that the awesome Lorenzo brothers, they make a lot of videos here on YouTube. They're my good buddies. I hung out with them at SummerSlam weekend. I think they went to all of the panels that were there that weekend. And honestly, if I would have known that they were doing panels, I probably would have extended my trip. And instead of just going for one day, I probably would have loved to go to the Saturday shows with Degeneration X. One of the pluses in order of buying one of the VIP tickets was getting a pre-autographed photo. You didn't get to have your own item autographed like you did at an Access VIP or anything like that, but you got a picture taken. And for me to pay to get a picture with Stone Cold Steve Austin was worth $1,000 in my mind. But honestly, in order to buy the single ticket to get a picture with Triple H and why do I keep messing up? To get a picture with Triple H and Shawn Michaels at the same time, I think that's a 1 in a million thing. And who knows when you're going to be able to do that again. I love the fact that these shows were filmed in order to be put up on the network. They need a lot of new content. That's one of the things that a lot of people are really dying for. I really love the Monday Night War series. I just got done watching the Goldberg one, and I went immediately into watching the DX one to catch up. I'm hoping that the Stone Cold Steve Austin one that I went to, I hope that one was filmed as well. I know at one point they got out of my seat to go to the bathroom, and there was a production table set up with only two people sitting there, and there was two televisions, basically with two different shots of Austin and Jerry the King Lawler, and I remember that, and I was thinking maybe they were filming it. I did notice that during this DX show, they did have some moving cameramen that sort of shot the crowd as they went along, and I don't remember seeing them during the Stone Cold Steve Austin show, but I was mostly really set on watching Stone Cold Steve Austin talk. I had a second row seat. I was almost right in the dead middle of the stage. Austin was just right there in front of me, and I just was in awe as he told the stories about how he became a wrestler and everything like that. But I think I've talked about that in other ones, and now I'm getting off track, and I'm supposed to be talking about the DX Confidential panel that I just got done watching. Honestly, I think this was a real cool show. 40 minutes. There was a few small video packages in there, but for the most part, this is just Michael Cole asking one question and Triple H and Shawn Michaels rambling on for a long time, going from one story into another. They tell stories about how they met WrestleMania 11 weekend, basically with Triple H coming up from WCW. He had been friends with Terry Taylor, and Terry Taylor thought that he was going to be able to get along with Shawn Michaels well, so Triple H came into where everybody was setting up for WrestleMania 11. He went up and he was talking with Kevin Nash, sort of introducing himself as they were going through the motions. Shawn Michaels came walking in. Triple H introduced them, and he sort of blew him off and sort of acted like there was no big deal. From a lot of stories that I've heard, as much as we think of Triple H and Shawn Michaels being best buddies, because of the DX days and them always sort of being around each other in the same company as they never left, I've always thought from things that I've heard and things that I've read that it was Kevin Nash that sort of paired these guys together. It was Kevin Nash that offered Triple H a seat in their van in order for them to start traveling with each other, and that's what sort of got him into the crew. Of course, everybody always thought that, you know, Triple H was the guy that carried Shawn Michaels' bags. Whatever got the job done. I mean, look at the spot Triple H is in now. I mean, to get to the top of the WWE, I would carry anybody's bag I had to, basically. And you could think that he got there because of marrying Stephanie, but this guy, when Shawn Michaels left, basically picked up the ball that was DX and just took it to the heights that you know, we would never thought they would ever be at. I mean, you could think of DX going invading WCW, which Triple H said was basically just taking Vince McMahon's words for words, as basically WCW would wait for WWE to plan where their shows were going to be, and as they were announced, WCW would plan their shows as close as they could to Raw to try and kill some of those traveling fans that would go to Raw. They would come to the closer show, which would be WCW Nitro, and of course everybody knows the story of DX with the Army Tank, with X-Pac and the New Age Outlaws. Triple H, they went and invaded WCW, and as they were pulling down the ramp to pull into the arena, threatening them with war, WCW closed the gates and shut that down and said they weren't going to go in there. Lots of good stories were told on here, basically, of Triple H talking all about WrestleMania 14 weekend, basically, with Mike Tyson being a member of DX, them doing that public workout out in Boston to try and gain those last-minute buys that people saying they wanted to go to WrestleMania, with them setting up a ring and DX showing up, and almost immediately as they got there, Shawn Michaels was pelted with a battery right upside the head, and he just took off and left, and Triple H had to pick up the mic, and because Mike Tyson certainly wasn't going to do it, and basically carry his way through a promo to make people care about WrestleMania being there. And of course, as Stone Cold Steve Austin got there, that's what brought Shawn Michaels down there, because he knew that's what where the money was at. And then of course they tied Austin up in the ropes, and they got the picture of Shawn and Mike Tyson kissing Steve Austin's bald head at the time. I think this is a really good watch, and I hope you guys go out of your way to check this out. It was only 40 minutes. It's over before you know it. The one thing that they did cut out was a Q&A that sort of went down at the end of this, which my buddies, I'll call him Murph, because that's what we called him that weekend, but Griff and TJ, the Lorenzo brothers, they said that was sort of the worst part of the show. I mean, if I was sitting there in that seat, I probably would have gone off every word that they had to say. Oh, my good buddy Paul, that I'm going to be meeting up with on Friday when we go to the BTW 18th year anniversary show with Lita Drew McIntyre. He was at the show. I even saw him sitting front row when they were showing the crowd shots that they were there. But basically they were saying that when they were asking these questions, and some of these questions were ridiculous. They were at the Stone Cold Steve Austin one also. It was first come, first served to the microphone, where was able to ask almost any question that they wanted to ask. Shawn and Hunter just pretty much berated people, just telling them how bad the question was, and just not giving an answer, or just making fun of the person to the point of people felt bad for the people that actually got up there and had the balls to ask questions. But 40 minutes, DX Confidential. I promise you'll love it. It's from SummerSlam. I'm hoping that they're going to do more of these. Honestly, I would love to have SummerSlam access. And I would feel bad if you guys didn't get it in New York, New Jersey, when it comes to your guys' neck of the woods next year. But I thought it was a good change of plans. I think that it's good to set up a show like this for the WWE Network, but I think it would be something that would be good as an alternative to WWE Access, as there's this show over here, and then there's also access that goes on, or maybe you can do access around it, and maybe you buy an access ticket to get in, and then you're able to add on for a little bit more to get a guaranteed seat for these sort of shows, and you could use that as people that are there to use as an audience to build a show like this. But hopefully you'll see the Hogan one. Hopefully you'll see the Austin one. The video game one is already up. I think that was shown live on the WWE Network as it went down, as they announced all the names with Cesaro, Roman Reigns, Sheamus, Hulk Hogan. There was a bunch of people there. I'll peace out, everybody. I'll see you guys down the road. Have a good one. WWE Network for life, people.